So it's my pleasure to introduce Cody. Cody Hacker is with us today and a presentation on Ohio's Technician Development Program. Cody, let's do a sound check and a mouse check. How's that working for you? Okay, Cody, go ahead.
I'm trying to advance it and it doesn't seem to be
Let's
advancing.
see if you tap one more time. It should just do arrow up, arrow down, maybe.
No.
Okay, we got it on this one. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As Ray said, I'm Cody. I'm Cody Hacker with the Ohio Department of Agriculture, Division of Soil and Water Conservation, and I'm going to be talking about Ohio's technical development programs. I'm going to talk about two separate kind of new employee soil and water conservation employee trainings. The first one is the new employee training, and that is available to all newly hired district staff in the state of Ohio. And then the technician development program is focused on technical employees and helping them, kind of better prepare for their careers in conservation. So if we can go to the next slide, Ray. The new employee training is completely online. It's based in 4 modules. There's 2 lessons per module. It's there's written and interactive content. There's videos. There's different kinds of activities and things just to help the employees stay engaged and make the online training a little bit more interesting and like I said, help keep them engaged. And then at the end of each module, there's content review and assessment, so we're able to kind of see how they're doing on that training, and also kind of check in and see if an employee gets hung up in an area or is not progressing. We can kind of check in on that and see, and maybe reach out and help them along. All right, the next slide, please, Ray. The modules in that online training are, kind of the rich history of soil and water conservation. So going back to the Dust Bowl, UHAM and Bennett, and kind of how districts were formed, through grassroots and local communities, and kind of covers that part of it. The next module talks about the powers and the money designed to deliver conservation. So, that kind of gives the outline of that part of the jobs to help give the employees just a better understanding. Then after that, the next module is on the Sunshine Law, which is Open Meetings Act, and kind of how things need to be reported and documented, as well as the ethics and responsibilities, for district employees. And then the final module is very important, is we have a reporting system in Ohio that all districts use, and it is talking about how to go through that activity reporting, as well as sharing different training opportunities, professional development opportunities for employees, and talking about benefits as well. So that's kind of the new employee training. Now I'll talk more about the technician development program. This program has been around in Ohio for a long time. It was developed in 2003. When it was first developed, it was set up as 5 levels, and it ran that way for probably about 10 years. And what we kind of discovered was the first couple levels always had high enrollment, and then it kind of tailed off after that, because the employees would move on or find other jobs or change positions, and so the program has evolved since then, and I'll talk a little bit about more later. But so now it's just a kind of beginner series and an advanced series. It's open to all soil and water conservation district employees, NRCS employees, and partner agency staff. So we try to get that partnership and professionally develop across the board. Within the last couple of years, there's been a couple online sessions added to it. Previously, it was all done, in-person trainings, usually 1 to 2 days. Now some of those we'd be able to put online to try to make them more available to districts that may have financial issues or may not be able to travel, and so just to try to make it as available as possible. At every session, the attendees are going to leave with a materials binder, about the session, so they're going to be able to take that back to their office, and have that as a reference in the future. as well as, there's some digital things that can be sent out as well. So they're able to have that and reference it in the future. And this program, like I mentioned earlier, is constantly evolving as new programs come into the state. Our legislature has put a lot of money into conservation in Ohio here recently. So it's an evolving program, and every year the different sessions, and we'll talk a little bit about those here in a minute, are reviewed, and then we try to update it and keep the sessions as pertinent as possible. So just the kind of the beginning level, the sessions are, if you look there, the couple of asterisks beside them are solely online, and the way those are set up are basically the attendees are given a login, and then they have a month to complete the coursework to get credit for that session. But these are just kind of some of the basic classes to get people started. So we have soils engineering, basic surveying, hydrology, inventory and evaluation, very important, the pollution abatement program. So just to give that good base level understanding, and then we go into the more advanced classes. On the next slide there. So grade stabilization, grass waterways, nutrient management, and these are just a list of a few. There's a lot more, but those are going to be, you take that base level knowledge and then you can apply it to these. And so these are going to be much more specialized classes, designed for the attendees. And then, so the next slide. And then we've also, in the last probably about 3 years, have developed a grazing portion. And throughout, grazing is common in a lot of counties throughout Ohio, especially in the eastern, southeastern part of the state. So we've developed a program, for the technicians in that area, or throughout the state, but to focus a little bit more on grazing. So grazing management plan development, fencing, livestock watering facilities, access roads, travel lanes, cool season forage establishment. That's a new one that we were going to try to do this year, and forage diversification and analysis. So, and we've offered others outside of this. This is just kind of a list of a few, but we take this program and we try to evolve it every year to meet whatever's pertinent in conservation at that point. And get everybody that kind of base level knowledge, and then just kind of grow the program. So I'm happy to take any questions anybody may have about Ohio's Technician Development Program. Thanks for having me on here today, Ray.